Welcome into game 2 of our doubleheader. Madonna taking game 1 4-0. Leading it off was going to be Joey Pwan, the left fielder, Gordon Ferguson, shortstop, and Frankie Luska. Luska is going to play first base today. Out in the field for St. Francis, it's Kyle DeConnick on the bump. So that first pitch is in there for a strike. Kyle entering today, 3.94 ERA. In 16 innings pitched, he's given up 14 runs. Only 7 of those were earned. 14 hits, 10 walks, 14 strikeouts. Opposing batters are hitting .226 against Kyle. He wears number 14. He's a junior pitcher for Coach Butcher and the Cougs. A lefty, 6'2", 195 from Auburn, Indiana, Perrysburg High School, transferred to St. Francis via Bluffton University. Big swing and a miss, and the count is 2-2 to Joey Pwan, who was 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in that game number 1. Out in the field for St. Francis, it's Tanner Gaff at third, Caden Sullivan at short, Tony Bova at second, Harold Wolf at first, Mikhail McCowan, Noah Frymuth, and Justice Tussing out in left field. So Jacob Nagy, the starting catcher, tracks that ball down for out number 1. Juan out on the FO2. That brings up Gordon Ferguson, shortstop. One heck of a shortstop out in the field. He was 1 for 2 at the plate with a run and a walk for Ferguson in game number 1. First pitch is a swing and a miss. 0-1 the count to Ferguson. Another swing and a miss. Madonna sure did show some power there in game number 1. They had a home run. That was by Luska, the on-deck batter. Other than that, though, they were drilling the ball to the outfield. Sullivan right through the legs for an E6. So with 1 out, Ferguson reaches first. That's going to bring up Frankie Luska. Luska, a lefty, with the best batting average on the team at .397. Picked up his 2nd home run of the year in that game number 1. It was a blast to right field. 1-0, your count with 1 out. To Luska, who will be playing first base here in game number 2. The DH will be Stephen Parker. Zach Beadle, the catcher for Madonna. DeConnick goes to first with it.
Good, DK, home now.
Quick pickoff attempt there by the lefty. DeConnick listed at 6'2", 195. The left fielder, Justice Tussing, will lead off for St. Francis in game number 2. The 1-1 with 1 out.
Good spot. Yeah,
1-2 now the count. Cougars wearing their white button-ups with the blue caps, solid blue caps. Just a bit upstairs for ball 2. St. Francis will take on Siena Heights this Thursday, and then we'll resume Crossroads League play with a series against Indiana Wesleyan this weekend. Luska going down to foul that pitch off. Count will remain at 2-2. Unless something changes, we will not have live video for the Indiana Wesleyan series. We'll be doing softball those 2 days. We have not done a softball broadcast yet this year, so baseball's well ahead of softball right now in live broadcast. I think I counted it up. There will be 20 home events this year for baseball. And that'll be a stolen base by Ferguson.
Get out of here, baby. Come on now, kid. Come on, Deke, you all right?
Not a stolen base. It's a walk by Luska. Brings the plate Noah Renaud, right fielder. He was 0 for 2 with a walk and a K in that game one. Takes that first pitch low for a ball.
I'm now 1-4.
Beautiful pitch in there for strike one. Madonna is playing without one of their better players, and Jalen Thomas, a senior center fielder at 6'4", 225. Entering today, he led the team with 21 RBI on the season and 3 home runs. First and second, DeConnick on the bump. This ball hit right at second baseman Bova. He had to dive to his left to knock that one down. Play at the plate, not in time. So Renaud with an RBI single will take second base. Luska now to third, and scoring is Ferguson. The RBI single. That'll bring up Stephen Parker, number 2, senior DH. Runners at second and third, just 1 out. Here in the top half of the inning. Ball fouled off into the catcher's mitt for strike one. 0-1's your count. Second pitch called, strike 0-2. Looks like they've actually moved the scoreboard wedge into the dugout now. No press box here at the World Baseball Academy. Good block by Nagy behind the plate. 1-2 now. Nagy's playing some good baseball for Coach Butcher. Entering today at .265 batting average for the junior catcher. Pitch was fouled off Parker.
Beat him, DK. Come on. Come on, Kyle. Be tough here, 1-4, kid.
Last time out for DeConnick was against Siena Heights on March the 13th. He faced 8 batters, gave up 2 hits, and had 2 strikeouts. Pitch will miss upstairs. Count evens up at 2-2. Against Concordia, he faced 21 batters, giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 of those earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. He has 14 strikeouts to 10 walks on the season. Kyle, did he go? Yes, he did. Route number 2. So Parker goes down swinging. That'll bring up Alex Garbasic. Garbasic, starting third baseman. He's a heck of a fielder. You can see why this team, Madonna, only lost 6 conference games a year ago. They were 22-6 in the WAC, finishing 3rd place. Big swing and a miss. 0-2's your count with 2 outs to Alex Garbasic. Garbasic was 0 for 3 with a strikeout in game number 1.
14.
One and 2 with 2 outs. Here in the top half of the inning, Madonna up 1-0. 1 hop chop to Gaff for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the first. St. Francis down by a run.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Craw.
Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Gibson. Shot scores.
The rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
It's just not on mine. Welcome back to the World Baseball Academy. Ash Center, this is Cougar Field. Leading it off for St. Francis will be number 17, Justice Tussing. He was a pinch runner in game number 1. In the 2 hole is going to be Mikhail McCowan. And batting in the 3 spot, Tyler Prince, your DH. Harold Wolf, Tanner Gaff. Noah Frymuth batting out of the 6th spot. Caden Sullivan in the 7 hole. First pitch to Tussing, low for strike 1. Low zone here for the plate umpire. Infield playing deep here for Tussing. 1 hop chop. Garbasic, route number 1. I said earlier, this infield for Madonna, very little flaws. They are clean. And at first base is Luska. They had Sykes at first base in game number 1. Oh, 1's your count to McCowan, right fielder. That pitch will miss way outside. We're evened up at 1 apiece. Mikhail was 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. game number 1. 2-1's your count to McHale. The Cougars with just 4 hits in that game number 1, 7 for Madonna. Another one outside. Good eye by McCowan. 3-1's your count. McHale, who batted out of the... McCowan draws the walk. McHale batted out of the 7th spot in game number 1, batting here in the 2 spot. It's going to bring up Tyler Prince. Tyler does not move from that number 3 position, usually reserved for the team's best hitter. Luska's batting in the 3 spot for Madonna. He had that big jack in game 1. 1-0's your count. Second base is open for McCowan. Prince checks that one for strike 1. 1-1's your count with 1 out.
Come on, 2-3. Come on, 2-3. Stay high, baby. Stay high.
Tyler Prince entering today with a .320 batting average, riding a 2-game hit streak right now. He was 0 for 3 with a run scored in the game against Siena Heights back on the 13th. 1-2's your count.
Come on, Prince, anything close, right?
Get a hold, get a hold.
Out of 19 games this year, only 5 of them Prince did not get a hit in. This ball's drilled into right center field, and that's going to fall right in front of the warning track. Coming home to score will be McHale McCowan on the RBI double into a triple for Tyler Prince. We're tied at 1 run apiece. Nice piece of hitting there by Prince. Just a matter of time. McCowan scoring easily all the way from first base. That brings up Harold Wolf, starting first baseman.
Hey, runner.
Go, Harold. I'm down.
Wolfie in game number 1 was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Swings at the first pitch.
Yeah, get out there. Prince.
So that's going to be a catch by the third baseman for out number 2.
Head up, head up. A lot of baseball left. Head up.
That'll bring up Tanner Gaff.
Let's go.
Gaff in game number 1, 1 for 3 with a strikeout.
Keep it going, babe. Keep it going, coach.
Hey, don't say that. Head up. Head up.
And now you, baby. Now you.
First pitch in there for a strike. Once again, low in the zone.
Need everything in the game.
Let's go, Gaffy.
Tanner Gaff been swinging a good bat here for the Cougs. And we got a balk. Coming home to score will be Tyler Prince. Cougs take the lead 2-1.
There you go, toilet paper! Take me. Go on him. Great job.
2-1, now your count to Gaff. The base is cleared. Ooh, and Gaff gonna get hit. Looks like that was inside the left leg there. Might have been right on the thigh.
Come on, Fry.
I'll bring up Noah Frymuth.
Everyone threes on time.
Short enough, kid.
Oh, 1 your count to Noah. Off speed pitch, that'll miss low and inside. Frymuth 1 for 3 in game number 1.
Let's go, threes.
We're evened up at 1 apiece. Gaff back easily at first. Gaff has yet to try to steal a base on the year. 0 attempts. That's going to be called for strike number 2. Once again, this is a low zone here for the plate umpire.
Here you go, Fry. There you go. I'm Noah. Oh, yeah. All right, we got the lead back.
Cougars take the lead back as we head to the top of the second. 2-1 St. Francis.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit summitcitysports.com.
Leading off here in the top of the second will be Gerard Doki, Kyle Anoel, and Zach Beadle, the 7, 8, 9 batters for Madonna. Doki with that big open stance. Did not see the plate in game number 1. Entering today with a .237 batting average. 14 hits, 13 runs, and 59 ABs. That ball drilled into right center field for a leadoff single. 13 RBI, 10 walks, 13 strikeouts for Doki. That'll bring up Kyle Anoel. Anoel was a pinch hitter in that first game. That ball ripped into right center. Tracked down by McCowan. That's going to be a double. Now we got runners at second and third. 0 outs. Madonna, that's their third hit of the game.
What do you say, DK? Let's bounce back.
Madonna hitting the ball sharply to right center field. Zach Beadle, the catcher, is your batter.
Let's go, baby.
Beadle has a 59 batting average on the season, 1 hit and 17 ABs. 8 strikeouts, 4 walks for Beadle. DeConnick on the bump. Check swing down low. Checks that one. Beautiful pitch for strike number 1. Up next for Madonna, they'll be taking on Cornerstone. That's March the 22nd. That'll be a conference matchup. Two balls, 1 strike to Beadle. Beadle's a freshman catcher. It's a veteran lineup in game number 1 for Madonna. Majority of the players are juniors. We did see a freshman pitcher. In John Weckler. Ball popped up and out of play. We got a full count now. Zach Beadle, freshman. Noyle, also a freshman. Doki's a junior. Doki currently at third. Noyle at second. DeConnick delivers just upstairs. Barely missed there, but that's going to load the bases with 0 outs. And we got a pinch runner coming in for the catcher. To run it will be number 13, Adrian Reed, who was the starting second baseman in game 1, arguably the player of the game for Madonna. Brings up the leadoff batter, Joey Puan. Popped out to Nagy, the catcher, in his first AB. Checks that ball down low for ball 1. Two balls, 0 strikes. Three 3-0 now your count with bases loaded. As Bova comes over to the bump, have a word with his starting pitcher, Kyle DeConnick. It's Nagy behind the plate. Jacob, who was the starting catcher in that big win against Marion on Saturday. 14-3 win over the Knights. 3-1 now after the called first strike. So coming home to score is going to be Jared Doki. after the walk by Puan. That brings up Gordon Ferguson. Looks like that's going to do it for Kyle DeConnick. As Coach Butcher is going to go to the bullpen. We'll be right back. More Cougar baseball.
Let's go, Chuckles.
Sports medicine, especially since I've been a pro, has been a place where my game has really been able to develop in multiple facets. Injury prevention, maintenance, physical therapy, weightlifting, agility work, all the things that I need to do in order to have an NBA body. This is the place for me to go when I come back home and I need to get a workout in. Always welcome me back with open arms.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. They just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
Welcome back here in the top of the second inning. We have bases loaded, 0 outs. The new pitcher is number 49, Charlie Betts. Charlie's a junior, 6'1", 185 from Lake Village, Indiana. Went to North Newton High School. Betts' numbers on the season, a 5.52 ERA. He started one game. And with 14.2 innings pitched, he's given up 10 runs, 9 of those earned, 13 hits, 11 walks, 10 strikeouts, and opposing hitters batting .224 against Charlie Betts. Once again, folks, entering today's doubleheader, the Cougars are holding opposing batters to just a .252 batting average, and that's good enough for 40th in the country. Not quite like Taylor's doing it, though. They got a team ERA of like a 1.9. Taylor dealing. First pitch swung on and fouled off by Gordon Ferguson, shortstop. Ferguson's only a junior, 5'10", 197. He's a smooth fielder.
Come on, Charles.
That being said, Madonna did have 2 errors in game 1, the only 2 errors of the game. One and one, your count. Betts. Up in this count now, 1-2. Cougars will welcome Indiana Wesleyan in this weekend for a 3-game series. Wesleyan 6-17 overall, 0-1 in the Crossroads League after that loss against Marion. Sullivan goes over to second, barely gets the lead runner there. That's Zach Beadle's pinch runner. That was Joey Pawan, excuse me. Coming home to score was Lenol, now at third. A lot going on in that at bat. So Ferguson reaches on the fielder's choice. He does get an RBI. Puan's out at second. Beadle, his pinch runners at third now. And Madonna takes the lead at 3-2. That first pitch is ball 1 to Frankie Luska. He drew a walk and reached third base back in the first inning. Caden Sullivan getting the start at shortstop. I believe this is his first start at shortstop on the season. He had been alternating starts at third base with Tanner Gaff. But with Snyder no longer on the team, Coach Butcher's going to have to find himself another shortstop. In game number 1, it was Brady Harris starting at short, the junior. Sullivan is a sophomore. Back in the first inning, Caden did have the only error of the game for St. Francis. That was against Gordon Ferguson, hit it right in between Sullivan's legs. 2-1 your count with 1 out.
Charlie, I'm dead.
A lot of action over there at third base for Adrian Reed, the courtesy runner. 3-1 now your count.
Come on, Charlie. Come on, Charlie, I'm 4-9, I'm kid.
The 3-1 from Betts. That ball's drilled into out of play. Make this count full, 3-2. Ferguson at first base, entering today with a .275 batting average. Perfect 1-for-1 in stolen base attempts on the season. Luska, who had a home run in game number 1, draws the walk. Third walk of the inning here for Madonna. That'll send Ferguson to second. Reed still at third. For the right fielder, Noah Renaud. 0 for 2 with the walk and a K in game number 1. Had an RBI single in the first inning. Good looking first pitch by Betts. 0-1's your count. Infield playing in at the corners. Drilled into center. Frymuth underneath it. For out number 2. He comes up firing. That ball is going to be cut off by Wolf. Marion picks up its 4th run on the sacrifice fly by Noah Renaud. Scoring was Adrian Reed. So now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs for Stephen Parker. Parker struck out in his first AB. Parker, who's the starting DH here in game number 2. 1-0 is your count. Parker 2 for 3 with the run scored in that game number 1. Check swing. Betts goes, or Nagy goes right back to Betts. 1-1 your count with 2 outs. That's the 1-1. Another sky high into left center. Tussing right off the end of his glove. 2 runs come home to score on the 2 RBI double. I'm not so sure you can call that one an error there. Tussing was on his horse in left center. That will score Ferguson from second. Luska from first. Still 2 outs here for Alex Garbasic. Garbasic, the third baseman, grounded out to third in his first AB. This is the 9th batter of the inning for Madonna. And stealing third base will be Stephen Parker.
Hey, let's go! Communicate out there! Come on!
Just catching the Cougars napping there. Parker was off and running in the middle of that pitch.
Come on, Carl. Battle through this, 4-9.
He was way ahead of it.
Come on, garbage drive man, kids. Way up, Charles.
0-1's the count with 2 outs. Stephen Parker after the 2 RBI double, now at third. If you want to get a clarification, we'll go to game changer. They're going to call that not a double, but instead a E7. And Parker comes home to score. One and one your count after the wild pitch. It's the 6th run of the inning here for Madonna. Up 7-2.
Come on, 4-9.
Breaking ball misses low and outside. 2-1 the count.
Go 4-9.
That ball off the handle. Bova picks it up with a bare hand. I'm not sure who that arrow is going to go to.
Hey, Charlie, keep doing you, 4-9. You're doing a good job for us, Charlie. I'm on.
But the 10th batter of the inning, Jared Doki, who had a single and scored a run earlier in this inning, now back up. And on the game changer, and they're going to give an error to Tony Bova on the E4. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Frymuth going to have to throw from center field. Wow. Oh, my. Scoring all the way from first is Alex Garbasic. And I believe we have multiple errors there. 8. Run of the game. 7th run of the inning.
Come on, go, come on. Keep going, Charlie.
First base coach for Madonna just has a big smile, looks over to the Cougar dugout. At this point, 1-0 is the count with 2 outs.
Charlie, here we go. Keep going, Charlie. Keep going, baby.
No reaction from the Cougar dugout. Doki over to Bova for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Cougars down by 6.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. They just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education, but also the experience.
Here in the bottom of the second, 8 runs on 3 hits for Madonna, 2 runs for St. Francis, 1 hit, 4 errors for your Cougars. Leading it off, number 21, shortstop Caden Sullivan. Sully did not get to the plate in game number 1. Entering today with a .206 batting average, 7 hits, 2 runs scored, 34 ABs, 3 RBI, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, and a perfect 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts. Up in this count, 1-0. Sully drills that ball, and that will fall in left center field for a leadoff single by Caden Sullivan. Second hit of the game here for St. Francis. That's going to bring up to the plate the catcher, Jacob Nagy. Cougars need to put up 7 runs here in the inning to match what Madonna did in the top half. Nagy did not bat in game number 1, entering today a .265 batting average, 9 hits in 34 at-bats. Does have a double on the season, 7 RBI, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, 1 for 2 in stolen base attempts for Jacob Nagy.
Let's go, Nagy. Let's go, good hitter.
Backhanded by Ferguson. They will not be able to pull the double play as Nagy will reach on a fielder's choice. Coach Butch was with some words for the umpire. It's going to bring up Tony Bova with 1 out and a runner at first. Jordan Siddon's going to courtesy run for Nagy at first. Bova 0 for 2 with a walk in game number 1.
Curveball's not bad, a little easy to pick up.
Once again on the bump, number 8, Greg Goodbread. And that is a double play. We'll head to the top of the third. Cougs down 8-2.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
The Chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Welcome back. The new Cougar pitcher is Matt Fiorini, the junior, 6'1", 215 pounds, from Schombergen, Ontario. Fiorini, a 12.46 ERA in 8.2 innings pitched. He's given up 14 runs, 12 of those earned, 13 hits, 7 walks, 12 strikeouts. Opposing hitters are batting .342 against Matt Fiorini. Jack Harris now in at first base for St. Francis. Caden Sullivan at second. Brady Harris at short. Tanner Gaff at third.
I saw you toss it.
So Harold Wolf taken out and Bova taken out. Jacob Nagy still catching.
Go, Fee.
Okay.
Still got McCown out and right. Frymuth in center. Tussing in left. Batter is Kyle O'Noyle. Takes that first pitch for a ball. He had a double and scored a run back in the second. An inning that saw 10 of the Crusaders come to bat. This ball's yoked into left center field. Frymuth picks it up at the fence. And that will be a leadoff double. Fourth hit of the game for Madonna. O'Noyle blasted that one all the way to the left center field fence. This Madonna team certainly can hit for power. Brings up Zach Beadle. Beadle, the catcher, walked and scored a run back in the second. Matter of fact, the only two players that did not score for Madonna in the second were Joey Puan and Noah Renaud. First pitch fouled away, 0-1 your count. Beadle going to check that one low and inside. We're evened up at 1 apiece. The Cougars as a team, 69 pitches, have given up 4 hits, 8 runs. Only 3 of those runs are earned. 1 strikeout and 4 walks for the Cougs. Kyle DeConnick, Charlie Betts, and now Matt Fiorini. It's Greg Goodbread for Madonna, who's given up the 2 runs and 2 hits. Chopper picked up high by Sully for out number 1.
Great job, Jack.
1 out. That'll bring up Joey Puan. Joey popped out to the catcher in his first AB and grounded out. Actually, he walked in the second inning, but then was thrown out at second base on the fielder's choice by Ferguson.
Holy shit. Yeah, if you win, dodge it.
Looks like we got a foul ball entering the field.
Cat, like a cat.
It's not Ferguson at the plate. It's number 21, Puan, as I had mentioned. Puan drills it into left. Coming home to score is O'Noyle on the RBI single. Gordon Ferguson reached on a fielder's choice, had an RBI, and reached on an E6. He scored 2 runs in this game. Nine twos your score with 1 out. First pitch catches the zone inside. 0-1 your count. Nice off-speed pitch gets him swinging. Fiorini up 0-2.
Rip it and rip it, baby.
Entering today, Fiorini 12 strikeouts, 7 walks on the season. Nice job. Solly picks it up, and Harris cannot make the grab at first. At least we got 1 out. As Ferguson reaches on another fielder's choice. Looked like a catchable ball there for Harris at first. Ball was not thrown in the dirt, just a little bit right. Brings up Frankie Luska.
Yeah, that's a hell of a move.
Choppy! Look it up.
Would have got me. There we go, feet.
Come on, babe.
Be an animal.
First pitch by Fiorini. Beautiful. In for strike 1. Luska checks that one upstairs. 1-1 your count. Madonna entering today's doubleheader with a 14-11 overall record. St. Francis at 6-12. Majority of St. Francis games have been played right here at the World Baseball Academy. Tell you what, without this facility, we would not have very many games in at all. Cougs been rained out on the road a few times, most recently at Pikeville. We got the foul balls coming in from all over the place. Bishop Lures with a practice over there on field 2. Two balls, 1 strike. This is a 7-inning game here. Actually, now I'm a little confused. I was told 2 different ways at the beginning. We will confirm. Right at the knees. Called strike 2. 2-2 with 2 outs. Fiorini, 13 pitches in the inning, has given up 2 hits, 1 run, and it was earned. Got a full count now after the pitch down low. Nobody holding on the runner at first. Ferguson. So we got runners at first and second now after the walk. They'll bring up Noah Renaud, right fielder. Noah had an RBI single back in the first and a sacrifice RBI fly out to center field back in the second. Pitch up and in for ball 1.
Two strikes, 3-2.
Not you. Not you.
Hey, let's go, Pete. There we go, 3-2.
1-1 your count. Madonna currently with 5 hits in this game. 2 hits for St. Francis. 4 errors for your Cougars. 0 errors for the Crusaders.
Here we go, there you.
Gaff picks up the ground ball. That was thrown over the head of Jack Harris. They're going to have... Oh, boy. So now they got another pickle. Luska thrown out, but still a run comes home. 10-2 your score as we head to the bottom of the third.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot. Here he comes. And Lucas Cross.
Shot hits the post. And a centering feed to Luke Knipscher. Shot scores.
Rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
Here in the bottom of the third inning, St. Francis now with 5 errors in this game. Double check that score. We still got 9 on the...
Come on, Tustin, come on, baby.
Got 9 runs on the scoreboard here. It's definitely 10. First pitch is strike to Justice Tussing.
Spit up, boy, boy.
Justice, leadoff batter, grounded out to the third baseman in his first AB. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. That ball's going to fall right in front of the center fielder. A leadoff single. Third hit of the game for Justice Tussing. That'll bring up Mikhail McCowan, who walked and scored a run back in the first. McCowan over 1 with a strikeout and a walk in the first game. Looking at Greg Goodbread, the starting pitcher, 6.91 ERA in 14.1 innings pitched, giving up 13 runs, 11 of those earned. And that's going to get past the third baseman. Back-to-back singles by the Cougs to open up the bottom of the third. That's going to advance Tussing to third, or excuse me, to second for Tyler Prince.
Come on, Princey.
So a lot of speed on the base pass. for Prince, who had an RBI double back in the first. So both runners advance on the wild pitch. And we got a time called by the catcher.
There you go, TP. You got 2 out there now, kid. Let's go. Come on, Prince.
0 outs here. Cougars trying to chip away at this 8-run deficit.
You can drive here. Hey, you're good.
Here you go, Tyler. Oh, you baby.
Off speed. Gonna miss down low. Good eye there by Prince. Just a sophomore first baseman. I believe he led the Summit Athletic Conference his senior year in batting. Over a 400 average. Definitely would make sense. 3-1 now the count to Tyler Prince.
Come on, Tyler. Time, TP. Let's go, babe.
Prince draws the walk to load the bases for Jack Harris. Harris inserted into the game for Harold Wolf at first. It's like Madonna. They've got the bullpen up. Goodbread on the bump. Good situation here for Jack. In game number 1, Harris was 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Batting from the 2 position.
Come on, Jackie. Come on, File. Let's go, kid. Oh, yeah.
First pitch. Nice stop by the catcher. Ball 1.
Come on, Fire. Let's go, babe. Come on, Jackie.
Ball hit right at third baseman. He'll get the for sure out. Harris beats it out. 1 run will come home to score. That's Tussing. Harris advances to second on the E5. Cougars get 1 run back. Tussing comes home to score. McCowan, who is out at third on the unassisted by the third baseman. Call that an RBI singles. Harris was going to beat that one out. See what the official scoreboard says here. Tyler Prince advances to third on an error by the third baseman, Garbasic. Harris advances to second on the same error. Harris grounds into a fielder's choice. Tussing scores. Not a single RBI on the fielder's choice for Harris. 2-0's the count, with runners at second and third for Tanner Gaff. Gaff could pull the squad to within 4 here with 1 swing of the bat. Did have a home run in that game 1 of the Goshen series. Off speed falls in for strike 1. 2-1's your count.
We go 2-5. Do a job here, Gab.
Jack Harris at second, Tyler Prince at third.
Good.
Pitch misses low. 3-1 now to Tanner Gaff.
Here you go, boy. You gotta be pretty.
Both of the teams playing for the 11 seed be good enough for the 16 seed. That's my whole point of that.
Come on, boy. Keep the head in.
Big swing and a miss. We got a full count now.
Base hit, ball 4. You go.
Ball popped up, chasing after it. Third baseman, and Ferguson's going to call him off. 2 gone for St. Francis.
Hey, let's go, Fry. Hey, how about it? 3s? Let's go. Now's the time.
Brings to the plate Noah Frymuth. Frymuth batting out of the 6-hole. Game number 1, he was batting out of the 5 spot.
Get on for the next man. Good.
First pitch in the dirt to Frymuth. 1-0's your count.
Let's go 3.
Still good, Brett, on the bump.
Good. Good.
All right, here we go.
Here you go.
1-1 now the count.
Good, no, there you go.
Frymuth 1 for 3 in game 1. Struck out swinging back in the first inning.
There we go, 3. Let's go, Fry. That's clean.
Sir, just know that I apologize. Here you go, Fry. Way to spoil, way to spoil.
That one fouled out of play.
Deep, Fry. Here we go, Fry. Do a job here.
Go 3.
There you go. Keep fighting, boys.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Noah Frymuth with runners at second and third. Cougs need this at-bat big time if they want to stay in this game.
What do you say, Fry?
Another one fouled out of play. So Frymuth staying alive at the dish. His team down 10-3.
Yeah.
Madonna only out hitting the Cougars 5-4. But the Cougars with 5 errors, Crusaders with just 1. That'll be foul. Just missed there by the third base coach.
What do you say, Fry? Extend the inning here.
On deck is Caden Sullivan, who's got a hit in this game. That one, that'll stay in right down the left field line. Both runners come home to score on the 2 RBI double by Noah Frymuth. That'll bring to the plate Caden Sullivan.
Out of bounds!
Keep it rolling, Caden. Right now, here you go.
0-1's your count to Sullivan. We're evened up at 1 apiece. Caden had that single back in the second, then was thrown out at second base on the fielder's choice.
Let's go!
Ball popped into right field, tailing into foul territory, making the grab
Good inning. Let's go get some more next inning.
is Renaud
Give up any of this inning.
as we head to the top of the fourth.
That's why you go out, bro.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education, but also the experience.
Welcome back here in the top of the fourth. Leading off will be Stephen Parker, the number 5 hitter, Garbasic, and Doki. New pitcher for St. Francis, number 22, Kyle Zabarski. His squad down by 5 runs.
Let's go, 2-2. Come on, man.
Zabarski enters today with a 3.14 ERA, which is best for the Cougs, and 14.1 innings pitched. He's given up 6 runs, 5 of those earned, 7 hits, just 5 walks to 13 strikeouts, and opposing batters are batting .143 against him. 1-0 is your count to Parker. Parker struck out in the first inning and had 2 RBIs on an E7 back in the second. Ball drilled into right off the fence. That will be 2 for the leadoff hitter, Stephen Parker. That ball was smacked. Once again, this Madonna team hits the cover off the ball. So that's 10-6-1 now for Madonna. 10 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Cougs are at 5-5-5. Garbasic, the third baseman. Low and outside. 1-0 is your count. .2-0 after the pitch misses upstairs.
Come on, Steve. Let's go, man.
Steve. 2-1 now to Garbasic. Madonna has scored in every single inning. 1 in the first, 7 in the second, and 2 in the third. St. Francis 2 in the first, 0 in the second, 3 in the third. 2-2's the count. Zabarski looking for his first strikeout of the game. Ball looked like it was off the handle, just over Brady Harris's head. Advancing to third will be Parker. on the Garbasic single. Garbasic now 1 for 3 in this game. Reached on an E4 in the second and scored a run. A lot of errors in that second. Bring up Jared Doki. He had a single and scored a run in the second inning. Also in the second inning, he grounded out to the second baseman. He was the only batter that batted twice in the second. Was Doki. That first pitch in the dirt, good stop by Nagy. 1-0's the count. Doki did not play in game 1. He'll be starting second base here. Been starting second base. Doki's got that hunched over stance. 2-hop chop, backhanded by Harris. Cannot get Doki out at first. RBI single scores Stephen Parker. Kyle Anoyle. 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and 2 runs scored. Harris over to Sullivan.
Nice job, Jack.
That's just the first out here in the top of the 4th. We got runners now at second and third. For Zach Beadle. Beadle 0 for 1 in this game, walked and scored a run back in the second. That was 7 runs Madonna put up there in the second. Only 2 of their batters didn't score. Coach Butcher's going to have to bring in the whole infield.
One more and run to them. The scoreboard only goes so high.
Zabarski trying to get out of a jam here. Runners at second and third with just 1 out. It's the number 9 batter in the top of the lineup. Beadle, only a freshman, getting the start here at the catcher. 1-0 the count. Entering today, Beadle with just 17 at-bats under his belt. So getting some quality playing time here on the swing and the miss. We're evened up at 1-1 with 1 out.
Let's go, Zeke!
In game number 1, we really didn't see any freshmen, hardly any, for Madonna. Veteran squad here, finished 3rd in the WAC last year. 2-1 your count. Madonna 36-18 overall just a season ago, 22-6 in the WAC. So they win the games they're supposed to win. 3-1 your count. Beadle checks that one inside. Bases are loaded after the walk. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Joey Puan. This is his 4th at-bat of the game. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Beadle heads back to the dugout, the courtesy runner. Number 13, Adrian Reed, the junior second baseman. At least he got the start at second base in that game number 1. Pawan also got the start in game number 1 in center field. Here he's playing left field. Zabarski up in this count 0-2. Looking for his first strikeout of the game.
Go, Zeke!
1-2 the count with one out.
Let's go.
2-2. First strikeout of the game for Kyle Zabarski. Two gone. Gordon Ferguson, shortstop at the plate. Ferguson 0 for 3, 3 runs scored and an RBI. 1-0 the count to Gordon. Ferguson, I got him down at 2 fielder's choice in an E6.
Let's go, Zeke. Come on now. Go ahead now. Come on, kid. Let's go. Here goes Zeke.
2-0 the count by Zabarski.
Yeah. Get there.
Ball gets past Nagy. No play at the plate. Scoring his second run of the game there was Garbasic. Doki advances to third. Reed to second. 3-0's the count. 3-1 now after the called first strike. Madonna looking to tack on 2 more here with 2 outs. Picked up by Harris for out number 3.
Let's go, guys.
We head to the bottom of the 4th, 12-5, Madonna on top.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Cross.
Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Gibson. Shot scores.
Rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
Welcome back. We got a new pitcher. It's Ryan Mount for Madonna. Mount, an 11.37 ERA in 6.1 innings pitched. Giving up 11 runs, 8 of those earned on 9 hits. Mount. Leading off for St. Francis is the catcher, Jacob Nagy. Look at the game day program put together by Sports Information Director Bill Scott. It says Cougars back home for 2 today. Madonna University presents plus 500 challenge for USF, meaning a team with a winning record. Madonna University out of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference is today's doubleheader challenge for the University of St. Francis at the World Baseball Academy Ash Center. Nagy, by the way, reached on a fielder's choice back in the second in his first AB. This ball's drilled that first pitch into right center field. Nagy's going to stay at first with the leadoff single, the 6th hit of the game for St. Francis. It's Jacob Nagy. That is going to bring to the plate Brady Harris, number 20. USF is 6-12 overall after a 14-3 8-inning win at Marion University on Saturday. The visiting Crusaders put a 14-11 record on the line, playing for the first time since March 9th, when Madonna edged out MVNU 3-2. Madonna has won 5 of its last 6 games. Once again, this is entering today's series. USF junior Noah Frymuth was named the Crossroads League Player of the Week for March 10th through the 15th. Frymuth had 4 RBI on the strength of a 3-run home run to center field on Saturday, his 13th career home run. Pitch down low to Harris. Big cut. Try to see what the count is here. Looks like 1-2. 0 outs. The courtesy runner for Nagy is number 2, Jordan Siddons. First strikeout of the game there for Ryan Mount, the new pitcher.
Hey, let's go, Justice.
That'll bring to the plate Justice Tussin.
Come on, Tuss, let's go, babe. Hey, let's go, Justice. Here you go, Bubba. Somebody Tuss.
Tussing had a single and scored a run back in the third. 1 for 2 in this game, also grounded out to the third baseman.
And there you go, 1-7, there you go, baby.
New first baseman for Madonna, it's number 7. He's not new, that's Frankie Luska. 0-2 the count, 1 out. The starting pitcher for Madonna, Goodbread, 3 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 of those earned, 1 strikeout, and 2 walks. Count remains at 0-2 for Tussing. Justice entering today's game, .231 batting average, 6 hits, 3 runs scored, and 26 ABs with 2 doubles, 3 RBI, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts for Justice Tussing. Tussing, just a junior.
No, back.
Checks that one low and outside. 1-2's your count.
Come on, babe. Let's go, Tuss. Come on, Tuss. Let's go, babe. Let's go,
Good work by Beetle. Behind the dish. 2-2 now. Once again, it's Jordan Siddons at first. Does not have a stolen base on the season. Another nice block by Beetle. Ball in the dirt. 3-2 with one out. Good job waiting on the off-speed pitch. Ferguson trying to turn two, but Tussing is safe at first. 2 gone now. Siddons gets thrown out at second on the 6-4. Tussing reaches on the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Mikhail McCowan. 1 for 2 in this game with a single back in the third. Walked and scored a run back in the first. Mikhail entering today with a .267 batting average and 1 home run on the season. This would not be a bad time to put up his second home run. Pull the Cougars to within 5.
Go, Mickey! Come on, Mickey!
You'll spin that boy,
You'll go right.
2-0's the count now. Mount to McCowan.
Spin up, boy.
3 straight balls here by Mount. He's going to step off the mound. Jordan Siddons now is going to get warmed up. Looks like he might be going out in the field.
Good, boy.
Good eye there by McCowan as he draws his second walk of the game. Advances Tussing to second. A lot of speed out there with 2 outs for Tyler Prince. Prince 1 for 1 in this game with 2 runs scored. Had an RBI back in the first. That was an RBI double that scored McCowan. Then he scored his second run on a 2 RBI double by Frymuth. Pitch gets outside, gets away from the catcher. Both runners will advance on the wild pitch.
Go, Princy! You should just know. It's fine if he doesn't know. It's cool.
It's again the head coach, Ted Faulkner, for Madonna in his 3rd season. Early here in Crossroads League play. So far, it's looking like your top teams, Taylor, Huntington, Mount Vernon, Navs. It's going to be really interesting to see where Indiana Wesleyan winds up and all that. Not a great start to the season for Wesleyan. Wesleyan will finish up their season with 3 against Huntington. Wesleyan lost 3 out of 4 against Indiana Tech. 2-1 to Prince. Oh, they're going to call that a strike low and outside. Wesleyan currently on a 4-game losing streak. Martin Methodist lost 2 to IU Kokomo and lost to Marion. This might be a good time to be getting in against Wesleyan.
Get out of there!
Wesleyan lost 9 in a row there, starting with that loss against Indiana Tech. Full count now, Tyler Prince with runners at second and third. Ducks on the pond here for Princey. All Crossroads League. Honorable mention last year, draws the walk. Bases are juiced. Loaded bases for Jack Harris. Jack reached on a fielder's choice and had an RBI, also scored a run. That was back in the third. He was a part of that 2 RBI double by Frymuth. Swings at the first pitch. 2-hop chop. As we head to the top of the fifth. 12-5. Madonna on top.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Welcome back here in the top of the fifth. Cougars down by a 7 spot. New pitcher is Michael Vicelli, sophomore, 6'3", 220 pounds, from Trabuco Canyon, California. Tesoro High School and Santa Rosa Junior College, his last 2 previous trips. USF 5 runs on 6 hits, 5 errors. Madonna 12 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. Luska's leading it off. Last pitch went right off the umpire's right leg. Not a good day for that to happen. 1-0's the count. And it was clean, too. Go ahead and show you the replay here. Boom. Just hit him right on the outside of that right knee. 3-0's the count. Vicelli on the season has faced 39 batters, given up 13 runs, only 6 earned, 19 walks and 9 strikeouts. That's his 20th walk of the season. It's going to bring up Renaud, starting right fielder 0 for 2 in game number 1 is 2 for 2 in game number 2 with 2 RBIs. Looking at the game changer stats, it's got Renaud at 1 for 2 with 2 RBI. I actually have him with 3 RBIs. He had a single back in the first. That was an RBI single. Sacrifice fly in the second. And an RBI single in the third.
Oh yeah, 2 steps like you can, kid.
That ball is ripped into right field. Siddons has a hard time handling it. Advancing to third on the E9 is Luska. 6th error of the game for St. Francis. 6 errors, 6 hits. That'll bring up Stephen Parker. Parker 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBI. See what the game changer stats say. 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Doesn't even have him with an RBI. I'm in the right game too, 12-5. 1-1's your count. Bocelli with runners at the corners. That's might stay in here. Tanner Gaff right at the Madonna dugout. Misses. That's just going to be a really high strike. 1-2's the count. Still 0 outs here in the top of the 5th. So coming home to score is Luska on the stolen base by Renaud. 13-5 your score. So I'm going to assume Parker has no RBIs because those 2 runs came on an error. Nice play by Bocelli, and they get him doubled up. Bocelli with the unassisted. 1-6. 2 gone.
That's why I hit line. Come on, Darby, start it up. Yeah, that's why I don't mind. Yeah, you throw.
Our basic now, the third baseman, your batter. 1-0 with 2 outs. It's 1 ball, 1 strike now to the third baseman. Nice pickup by Harris for out number 3. Head to the bottom of the 5th, 13-5, Madonna on top.
That's it. Brady, that's on me.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far. So they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education, but also the experience.
Welcome back here in the bottom of the fifth. 13-5. 9-6 in hits, 1-6 in errors.
I'd say 2 seconds probably demoralized his whole life.
Another new pitcher here for Madonna. Ryan Mount was their last pitcher. This is number 24. Kevin Smith Jr., redshirt sophomore, 5'11", from Oak Park, Michigan. Smith, a 12.6 ERA in 5 innings pitched. Giving up 10 runs, 7 earned on 5 hits. Tanner Gaff leading it off for St. Francis.
1-2-5. On board. Come on, Gabber.
1-0 is your count. Gaff was hit by a pitch and back in the first. Popped out to the shortstop.
Come on, Gaff.
That was back in the third.
All right, here we go, Gaff. Come on, Gaff. Hey. Here we go, Gaff. Go, Gaff. Come on, babe. Let's go 2-5. Come on, 2-5.
Smith Jr., the lefty.
Come on, Gaff.
Up in this count now, 1-2.
Hey, 1-2-5.
Breaking ball just misses upstairs. We're evened up at 2 apiece.
Come on, T. First off, Gaff. We say, baby. 1-2-5. Here we go, Gaff.
Full count for Gaff, who was 1 for 3 with a strikeout in game 1 and entering the series with a .265 batting average. Gets hit again. So for the second time today, Gaff is hit by a pitch. Brings up Noah Fryman. Noah had the 2 RBI double in his last AB. 1 for 2 in this game. Was 1 for 3 in game 1. 0-1 in this at-bat. Smith Jr. went to University High School.
Hey, go with the pitch, threes. Hey, let's go threes. Lana, hit the outfield for you.
Frymuth going to check that upstairs. 1-2 now the count. 0 outs, Tanner Gaff at first. Slow chopper. Smith's going to go to second with it and does get the lead runner. 1 out after the fielder's choice by Frymuth. Going to bring up number 21, Caden Sullivan. Popped out to right field in his last AB, singled in his first AB.
Here you go, Caden. Come on, Caden, let's go, baby. Yeah.
First pitch low for strike 1. Sully now down in the count, 0-2.
Get out here, Caden. Go, Caden. Go 2-1.
He'll check that one low and outside. 1-2 now to Caden Sullivan. Once again, folks, our next Cougar baseball broadcast will be this Thursday. Doubleheader versus Siena Heights, another team out of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Currently in the WAC, Lawrence Tech 15-6, Concordia 14-6. We saw them here. Indiana Tech at 13-9, Madonna 15-11. Wow. Madonna's already got their DAX stats updated. Swing and a miss for Sullivan. Route number 2. Brings up Jacob Nagy.
Go Nags. 1-12.
Nagy had a single back in the 4th, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd. Nagy 1 for 2.
Come on, Nags. Let's go 1-2. Come on, baby. Good, there you go. Come on, 1-2. Get ready. I want to be in the game. He's been come on, Nagy.
Two balls, 1 strike. Turned on. That will roll foul. 2-2 count now to Jacob Nagy here in the bottom of the 5th. Here in this 7-inning contest, 2 outs for the Cougs with the 2-2 count to the starting catcher, Jacob Nagy. Three-2 now the count. Smith just entering the game this inning with his first walk of the game. Brings up Brady Harris. Struck out looking in his last AB. Got a courtesy runner coming in for Nagy. It's going to be number 29, David Miller, the junior. David at 6'5". His pants barely cover his knees. First pitch to Harris, going to miss for ball one.
Let's go, Brady. Come on, kid. Here you go, Brady.
Up in the zone for strike one. 1-1's your count. Harris entering the doubleheader today with a 194 batting average.
Come on, kid. Keep it rolling, 2-0. Keep it rolling, baby. Got it, kid. Come on. Hey, confidence, 2-0.
On deck, it's a leadoff batter, Justice Tussing. Count's evened up at 2-2 with 2 outs.
Go, 20. I got a point. Come on, Brady. Come on, Brady. Up to you. Go ahead. Nice, Noah.
Ball gets past Beetle. Both runners advance on the wild pitch. Frymuth to third. Miller to second. Full count now to Harris with runners in the scoring position and 2 outs.
Here you go, Brady. Make the ball forward.
Check swing as that ball is low. Harris draws the walk. For Smith Jr., his second walk of the inning and a hit by a pitch. And 5 batters faced. That brings up Tussing with bases loaded. Justice reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Singled and scored a run back in the 3rd. Once again, Game Changer has Justice 1 for 3 at the plate. We head to the top of the 6th, 13-5, Madonna.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Welcome back, a new pitcher for the Cougars, Junior Angeles, 36 ERA. In 1 innings pitched, has given up 4 hits. Or excuse me, 4 runs, all 4 earned on 3 hits. Junior is a sophomore pitcher from Indianapolis, Indiana. Cecina Memorial High School, 6'1", 180 pounds. First pitch hit right back at Junior. That was Jared Doki, out number 1.
Yeah. Come on now. Good, Junior.
Brings the plate Kyle Anoyle. Anoyle 2 for 3 in this game with 2 runs scored. It's that right at Gaff. Out number 2, 2 up, 2 down. Zach Beadle, your batter. Junior looking good on the bump here for St. Francis. Only 1 innings pitch under his belt. He'll be bringing down that ERA. Beadle, the number 9 batter. Starting catcher. He's only a freshman. Junior up in the count 0-1. Check swing, slow roller to Sullivan at second. Throws it right at me. That'll be E4, the 7th error of the game for St. Francis. So Junior will not get out of the inning. 1, 2, 3. We do have a courtesy runner. Brings up Joey Puan, leadoff batter. Once again, pitch running is number 13, Adrian Reed. He was your starting second baseman in the first game.
Hey, bro. Hey, we got 2 still. We got 2.
Batted in the 9 hole, where he was 1 for 3 with a 2 RBI double. 0-1's your count. Junior gets him looking for out number 3. Heading to the bottom of the 6th, down by 7.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Cross.
Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Knipscher. Shot scores.
Rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
Welcome back, everyone, here in the bottom of the 6th. Leading it off for St. Francis, going to be Mikhail McCowan. Your new pitcher is number 22, Ethan Whitcomb. 4th pitcher on the day for Madonna.
Well, I mean, Jim Abbott for a no-hitter.
1-1 your count.
It was exactly the same. No, he didn't. Jim Abbott had one.
Ball's fouled off by McCowan.
You went to Michigan? Yeah, you went to Michigan.
Let's go, Nick.
Yeah, same thing with Jim Abbott.
Whitcomb, a sophomore. Looks like this might be his. He comes in with an 11.25 ERA. In 4 innings pitched, gives up 5 runs, 5 earned, and 7 hits. Whitcomb has got to hold the glove there with his right arm and flip it over to the left. Very reminiscent of Jim Abbott back in the day, the Angels pitcher. Also pitched at University of Michigan. Had his baseball cards, many of them. Mikhail drills this one down the left field line. And short hops the fence, foul. Whitcomb, the lefty, 5'10", 180 pounds from South Leon, Michigan. Mikhail goes down, digs it out. Easy play there by the second baseman, Doki, for out number 1. Brings up Tyler Prince. Prince 1 for 1 with 2 walks in this game. 2 runs scored, 1 RBI for Tyler Prince. One other count to Prince. Checks that one right on the outside corner.
We say 2-3.
In this series, Prince most likely your player of the game for St. Francis. 1 for 3 in that first game. Cougars only had 4 hits. Here with 2 of the runs out of 5. That one's fouled out of play. 2-2 now to Tyler Prince with 1 out. Prince, slow roller over to Ferguson. That will be a single as the throw is going to pull Frankie Luska off the bag. That would be the second error of the game for Madonna on the E6. Brings up Jack Harris. Harris had an RBI and scored a run back in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2 in this game with a run and an RBI. Check swing, foul. 0-2's the count.
mechanic. Because the fielder's choice counts as that. I didn't think it did.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Oh, it does?
It does, yeah. It doesn't. It affects your output. It doesn't. Okay. It's still an open one. It'll still be open.
And then if you're at the plate and there's an error in the outfield, 2 runs comes home, you don't get an RBI.
Right.
0-2's the count with 1 out.
Good job.
2-2 now after the ball in the dirt. Just 1 out here for Whitcomb. Now with a full count to Jack Harris. It's Prince at first base. Checks that pitch upstairs. Harris getting his first walk of the game. That'll bring up Tanner Gaff. Gaff gets hit again, the 3rd time in this game. He got hit in the 5th inning and the 6th inning. I'll bring up Noah Frymuth. No doubt that Gaff is going to be black and blue on that right shoulder. Frymuth in a good spot here with bases loaded. Just 1 out. First pitch swung on. Ferguson, that gets past him. 2 runs going to come home to score. 2 RBI single by Noah Frymuth. Tyler Prince and Jack Harris coming home to score on the 2 RBI single. That brings up Caden Sullivan. Swing and a miss there for Caden.
Gotta eat.
You can control. Here you go, Katie. Here you go, Katie. Come on now. That's right, going. Yeah, Katie. I'm not Kev.
To Whitcomb. Gets Sullivan swinging there. For out number 2. That'll bring up Jacob Nagy, the catcher. For Whitcomb, his first strikeout of the game.
Another hit, boys. Another hit. Come on, Nate. Come on, Nate.
1-2. Hey, somebody's trapped.
Good. 2-0's the count after the ball in the dirt. With 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 6th. It's 1 more inning remaining here for St. Francis. That'll miss inside. 3-0's the count. Another arm up in the pen for Madonna. They might get all their pitchers in this game. Nagy taking all the way there for a called first strike.
There we go.
So Whitcomb has walked the bases loaded. His second walk of the inning. Brings up Brady Harris. Miller pinch running for Nagy. First pitch swung on. Renaud grabs it for out number 3. We'll head to the top of the 7th. 13-7, Madonna.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
New pitcher for St. Francis is Ryan McCracken. And this is his first time getting a pitch in on the season. No stats for McCracken. Junior pitcher, 6'2", 205 pounds, from Van Wert, Ohio. Came to us from Glenville State.
Yeah. Great throw. Let's go, Ryan! I'm now, Ryan. Let's go, kid. Pound zone. I'm now. Come on, Craig. Let's go. Let's go, Ryan.
Cracking the big righty.
Cool.
See Gordon Ferguson here in his first AB.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're good. Here we go, man. All right.
First pitch misses outside for ball 1. Ferguson 0 for 4 in this game with 3 runs and an RBI.
Yeah. I'm now down. You got it, kid. Oh, yeah. We make some high levels. Love to see it. I'll show us the lettuce. Yeah!
Pitch popped up to Harris at shortstop. Out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for Ryan McCracken. That'll bring up Frankie Luska. Lusko had the home run in game number 1. 0 for 0 at the plate with 4 walks and 2 runs scored. Counts evened up at 1 apiece to Luska. He was 1 for 2 with a run and 2 RBI and a walk in game number 1. High and in for ball 2.
Oh, yeah! Let's go, Ryan! hold it up. Good, hold down. Rip it, baby.
We're evened up at 2 apiece now. McCracken with 1 out here, top of the 7th.
Good pitch, good pitch.
We're at a full count.
Finish your brother now, Craig. Here we go. That's pitch right here. Hold on. Let's go, right.
There we go, crack.
Yeah!
2-hop chop.
Baby! There we go! Woo!
Piece of cake there for number 5, Jack Harris. Route number 2. It's going to bring up Noah Renaud.
Finish your inning, baby. Finish your inning. Let's go.
Noah 2 for 3 with 2 RBI in this game. Starting right fielder in both games for the Crusaders.
Yeah! Here we go. Give me a hum now. Attack, attack.
Breaking ball for strike 2.
Let's pitch right here. Hum now. Way ahead here, baby.
This could be the only inning, 3 up, 3 down here.
Love it, love it.
1-2 your count.
Way ahead, Crack. That's right. Still ahead, Crack. There you go, Crack.
McCracken misses outside. Counts evened up at 2 apiece. Ball picked up by Harris. He'll flip it over to McCracken. That's a 1-2-3 inning. The first for the Cougs all day. We head to the bottom of the 7th, 13-7.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Cross.
Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Gibson. Shot scores.
The rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
New pitcher for Madonna. It's freshman Shea Walters. For Walters, this will be his first game appearance. He's not listed on the stat sheet. He's the 5th pitcher on the day for Madonna, taking over for Ethan Whitcomb. Whitcomb in 1 innings pitch gave up 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Pitch misses low and inside, so 1-1 your count. This is the leadoff batter for St. Francis. It's number 54, Nick Zarzicki, hitting for Tussing. Zarzicki is 0 for 5 with a run scored on the season.
Come on, Nick. Somebody, Zar. Hey, you got this one, Zar. Let's make it 3. Let's make it 3. Come on, Nick.
Zarzicki goes down swinging for out number 1. Brings up Mikhail McCowan. Mikhail 1 for 2 with a run scored, 2 walks in this game.
Come on, Mick. That's good, leave. Here we go, Mick. Get something you like, Jack. Get something you like. Take your piece. Here we go, Mick.
Second pitch swung on and popped up. Camping underneath it is the third baseman, Garbisic, for out number 2. Two outs, your batter is Tyler Prince. Looks like we got a pinch hitter. It'll be 29, David Miller.
Here we go, David. Come on, let's go, let's go. Come on, 29. David.
Miller swings at the first pitch. Picking it up in shallow right field was the second baseman, Doki, with no play. Miller entering today at a .500 batting average, 1 for 2 at the plate. That looked like a hit to me. Call him 2 for 3 now. For your batter, Jack Harris.
Let's go, David.
So for St. Francis, the 8th hit of the game there by Miller. 1-0 the count. Jack Harris. Jack 0 for 2 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. 2-0's the count.
Good. There you go.
3-0 now to Harris. Looks like we've stopped updating the scoreboard here at the World Baseball Academy. So Harris looking for the walk there. It's a called strike. Jack does have 1 walk in this game. Make it 2 walks now. Runners at first and second for Tanner Gaff. Gaff 0 for 1 in this game. He's been hit by a pitch 3 times. So with the sore right shoulder is Tanner Gaff. 0-1's the count. The scouting report on Tanner Gaff is obviously high and in. That'll miss low and outside. Shea Walters, the freshman pitcher, 6 foot, 185 pounds from Oxford, Michigan. Seeing his first collegiate action.
I'm not Gaff. Come on, Gaff. Go Gaff. Let's go, babe. Good.
Counts evened up 2-2 after the ball in the dirt.
Come on, Gaff.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Tanner Gaff. Both runners are off as Gaff draws the walk.
No one better. No one better.
Brings up Noah Frymuth with bases loaded. Frymuth 2 for 4 with 4 RBI and a strikeout. Takes that first pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. David Miller at third base. Jack Harris at second. Tanner Gaff at first. Counts evened up at 1-1. Gaff rips that one. That might have went off the glove of the third baseman. 2 runs going to come home to score on the 2 RBI single by Noah Frymuth. Coming home to score, David Miller and Jack Harris. Brings the plate, Caden Sullivan. He'll take that first pitch upstairs for ball 1. Caden 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
Hey, buddy. Hey, come around over here, okay, big dog? Come in the dugout.
All right, Sully. Do something crazy. Come on, man. Back at it.
2-0's the count now. To Sullivan.
33 probably.
That'll miss low and inside.
Here we go, Caden.
Runners at first and second. Cougs down by 4. Both teams now with 9 hits. Sullivan draws the walk. That'll load up the bases again. Second walk of the inning for Shea Walters. I'll bring up Jacob Nagy, the catcher. Got a new pitcher coming in, and it's number 39, John Beckelier. We saw him in game number 1. We'll be right back with more Cougar Baseball.
Sports medicine, especially since I've been a pro, has been a place where my game has really been able to develop in multiple facets. Injury prevention, maintenance, physical therapy, weightlifting, agility work, all the things that I need to do in order to have an NBA body. This is the place for me to go when I come back home and I need to get a workout in. Always welcome me back with open arms.
Parkview Sports Medicine,
Game on.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan.
We are back, everybody. The new pitcher, once again, John Beckler, with a 1.88 ERA entering today. That's best for Madonna. In 14.1 innings pitched, has given up 7 runs, only 3 earned, 10 hits, 13 walks, and 16 strikeouts. 0-1's the count. Comes in here with bases loaded. Did pitch in that game number 1. He had 1 innings pitched, gave up 1 hit, and had 1 walk. He was the last of 4 pitchers for Madonna in that game number 1. 1-1 now the count to Jacob Nagy, the catcher. Nagy 1 for 2 with 2 walks in this game. 2 outs and bases loaded. Nagy, if he were to get his first home run of the season, would tie this game up at 13. Could you imagine? Swing and a miss. So Cougs will fall in game number 2, 13-9. On the game, 13 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for Madonna, 9, 9, and 7 for St. Francis. Folks, thanks again for joining us. We will next have Cougar baseball action this Thursday, the doubleheader versus Siena Heights.